Welcome to A Canadian Investing in the U.S., a podcast and YouTube channel focused on Canadians buying real estate with host Glen Sutherland.
Welcome to a new episode of Canadian Investing in the US. This week's my guest is Donalta Hall. Donalta, you want to give everybody a bit of an introduction to yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Donalta Hall. I'm originally from Toronto, Canada. That's how Glenn and I met. I was one of his students and started out my career with a whole like 9 to 5 and IT, did all that good stuff, got all that career progression, burned out, but real estate just kind of always made sense.
Mhm.
So started investing locally in Toronto, grew a portfolio, got into the Airbnb business. And with that, I was able to leverage that business to get an E2 visa to expand that business into the US. So fast forward a few years later, I currently live in Huntsville, Alabama. After taking Glenn's course and just learning about all the different markets and analysis, we decided to dive more than head first, like and we've just made the move. And it's been a great decision, a great experience, and we're loving it out here. And we want to share, more information with people, Canadians especially, about either how to make the move or how to invest, diversify their portfolios, and get started in the US.
I love it. Okay. You mentioned the E2, you mentioned doing it through real estate. Maybe let's just like even 1 minute or 2 minutes on like, I don't want to go deep into it, but like um what a lot of people hear, which is misinformation that you can't get an E2 visa based on real estate. Um I have an E2 visa based on real estate. You have an E2 visa based on real estate. We both have different kinds of business plans, I'm guessing, because you're talking about doing short-term rentals. You want to just talk about that process for you, and why your business qualified to be able to get a visa?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually, I heard similar rumors to what you heard, and I was actually surprised about how easy the process was. And in fact, I think I got in my own way in my own head in terms of how challenging it would be and extended the time it would have taken to even get that visa. I waited about 8 months into it before completing my visa application when I learned during the process that it's really about your business plan and your proposal. So my business is a short-term rental business. It was in Cleveland, Ohio at the time. We had multiple short-term rentals, and the reason we qualified is because you can purchase real estate, and but the real rumor is that you can't buy real estate, and that ownership of the real estate will allows you to qualify. But you can set it up as long as you have an active business where you're either employing US people, contributing to the US economy, like paying bills, paying rents, hiring property managers, hiring construction crews. And so with the Airbnb business, because I decided to use rental arbitrage. So because I had these multiple leases, I was considered in, contributing to the US economy. I was hiring people there locally. And, that's what enabled me to qualify. And it was really before I even kind of spent the money, it was really about the business plan, having that solid business plan to show how much we planned on spending, when we planned on spending it, and what we were spending it on. And we went, through the entire visa application. We went to the embassy in Toronto, and it was really relatively straightforward. They really grilled us about our business, how we were helping people, and showing how we were spending whatever monies we spent and where it came from. So yeah, that was really the process. And
Yeah.
and we got the visa right away, and they're like, "Yeah, good luck. I'll see you." And we're like, "All right." Um,
Yeah, no, I had the same sort of process. I took from hiring, I used three different attorneys to get to the finish line. But because I was what first attorney wanted me to do it like do it all yourself kind of
Mhm.
strategy, and then the second one basically handed me off to the third one. And so then I basically wrote a whole business plan, and then they fixed the business plan. but I
Mhm.
know you took the course like a while ago. And since then I've added to the course material just how to do your business plan. So it's like an hour and a half of me just going through how I wrote mine, what I did. You actually get a copy of my business plan. You could literally just change the name on it and
Wow.
go and do it. But that didn't exist back then. I think we were going through the business, the E2 visa plan at the exact same time. So I didn't have it completed at that point to be able to share it. But anyway, next time. if you, but okay, so let's go through your story. So you started off, you doing some Airbnbs in Cleveland that helped you qualify for the visa, and then how did you just pick up and move? Did you sell your properties or stuff in Toronto first? Like, what was the sort of order and what was the plan there? Are you looking to invest in the US? Are you looking for a coach that has been doing this for much more than 1 year? In fact, doing this for almost 10 years? Do you want to do one-on-one calls? Do you want to actually have someone looking at your deals and actually thinking and worrying about your projects? If that's of interest to you, I'd love to get on a phone call with you. Go to glensutherland.com or at canadianinvestingintheusa.com and schedule a call. We'll just do a quick 15 minutes, see if it works for you.
It's a big process, right? We're figuring out the new business. We're both real estate agents now. We're investing, helping other people invest, and we're growing multiple businesses here. And it's taking a lot of focus just to, just restart your life. I don't know how to describe it. It's been a year.
Yeah.
12 months goes by so fast, so fast. But yeah, because even, I mean, we love it here. I absolutely love it in Huntsville. I love it in Alabama. I love the people. I love everything about it. It's a much better lifestyle than we had in Canada. But there's still like, I miss Tim Hortons coffee. I
Now you'll
miss,
get over that.
they're little things, right? Like there's just things that I miss about like the culture.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of deciding, are we like actually going to give it up, right? You want the best of all worlds. And so that's actually something we were talking about this morning is just like, yeah, we kind of need to talk to the accountant, figure it out. We're doing everything in both places right now. And I don't know if that's necessarily the best long-term strategy for us going forward. We even just recently, after being here a year, just got our IDs, our driver's license. So we're driving around concerned that ICE would come pick us up. Like,
Yeah. Never even thought of that, but yeah.
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 So
The other thing too is like if you're moving from Toronto to Huntsville, Alabama, the average house price is going to be substantially cheaper, and like even new construction is
yes.
substantially cheaper. Like,
Yes. The properties are so beautiful. I say that because in Toronto, I could only dream of owning a bungalow, like a nice, 2,000 square foot bungalow. Those were things that aren't even possible. Here, they build new construction. They're all ranch style. They're all bungalows. Having a second story is relatively rare. There are properties with them, but they really enjoy like the ranch style and the split levels. So it's the concept of getting a home that I could potentially retire in with, no stairs. I know it's like, it seems
yeah,
thing, but it's doable. And for really great prices, like under 300,000, you can get a beautiful 4-bedroom home, either an older one, you can buy a new construction home here. For the builders are giving great incentives, interest rates under 5%. One builder had 1.99%
wow.
interest rate for 30 years. It's crazy, 3.99%. So they're beautiful homes, super large. I think a decent home, move-in ready, starting anywhere about 200,000. You can still find things under 100. They'll need a lot of work.
Yeah,
They're far and
100.
few between, and competition is fierce. But it's still out there. So just seeing what's available, and even with the new construction at some of these rates that we're seeing, they cash flow from day one because they rent at a higher price point. And especially with the short-term or mid-term rentals, there's a real need with a lot of people moving here for family homes, not just apartments. And that is an area that's kind of been underserved. So there's a lot of potential for that as well, too.
Yeah. And your weather, it's got to be fairly similar to northern Florida, right? Because you're basically across from that. Did you know that there are more lending scams in the United States than anywhere else? I've actually come across many of them myself, and some of them are very good at looking legit. if you're interested in a list of lenders, please go to my website and get a list of verified lenders at CanadianInvestingInTheUSA.com/lenders.
Yeah, it's the weather's good. There's a lot of rain. We're in kind of tornado alley, and I'm thinking to myself, anytime there's a tornado warning, like, why did I move here? But but they're I don't know, the locals are used to it. They're maybe a tree will get knocked down, they'll just clean it up the next day, or they don't really fuss or fight about it.
Yeah,
Not, I haven't seen anything crazy. I've heard stories so far. It's pretty sunny. For the first time, the shorts and a sweater make sense to me, that uniform,
yeah,
because it'll be, cool in the morning, get hot in the afternoon, and then by the evening, you have to wear something else. So, they have a saying, if you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes. So it's constantly changing. But it's also makes the place really beautiful. It's really lush, again, similar to Florida.
yeah.
Really lush, lots of rain, lots of heat. Um,
And if you get
yeah.
outside of like Huntsville, whenever I was down there visiting last, I got touring around, and you get outside of town, it's almost like going to the Muskokas. It's like, oh,
Yes.
like trees
Waterfalls,
and waterfall. Yeah,
lakes.
yeah,
So it's so beautiful. And the sky, that's one thing I noticed. I posted a lot on my social media. Is just the sunrises, the sunsets. It's like cotton candy skies. There's so many colors, purples, oranges, blues, pinks. It's just really beautiful. So I enjoy that.
yeah. And also, speaking, you mentioned the tornadoes. Like this, if you're in Florida, a lot of times wind insurance isn't included in your insurance. But all of my insurance I've ever had in Alabama, wind insurance was included.
Mhm.
And I've never had a tornado hit my houses directly, but I did have one in the northeast corner of Huntsville that got like a very bad windstorm, and it basically stripped maybe a fifth of the shingles off the
I'm off the
roof just
road.
because the wind was so high.
Hmm.
Um, but insurance came in and they put it all back on, and they
Yeah.
actually wanted to cut trees down and like more than what the actual damage I was claiming. I got a bigger check than what I was expecting, and they just wanted to make sure, they wanted to make it so it never happened again. Like they're going to
Yeah.
make your house more secure afterwards. They're going to add things to it.
Yeah, that's absolutely it. Like, it's not really something you have to worry about in the contrast of like you're also in Florida as well too, where, insurance is like super high,
Yeah.
and they're cutting back on the amount of things they want to do.
Yeah. Well, I think Alabama has the second lowest property taxes in all
The
of the US.
And you can retire if you're a retiree, you can retire tax free here. So it's actually coming up on Florida. A lot of people from Florida, the snowbirds, are moving here for just the retirement lifestyle, and income. Not necessarily in the North Alabama area, but
Yeah.
down south by the Gulf Shores, Foley. So there's a lot of opportunity here for 55 plus communities. If you're into development, there's opportunity to build because so many people are looking for houses. So many people are moving to the state.
One thing you didn't mention because you're so unsalesy, which honestly I love this approach, but you are a realtor. If you want to just tell people a little bit how they could work with you, or what, how you could help them down in the US.
Oh, absolutely. So me, my team and myself, we are in all 50 states. So if you are looking for property, we can connect you with one of our partners in any state, any city. Reach out, let us know. And that's the thing, it's just building that network. That's one of the things we wanted to do when we moved here, is to create a bridge for Canadians to either move here or invest here and get connected with the right people, because you're dealing online with strangers. People are concerned about getting scammed. We've made mistakes, we've lost money, picked the wrong people. And so it's being here, you get an opportunity to meet people, connect with people, get into the right circles. So happy to help anybody who's interested in investing, connect them with the right people, the right teams, property managers, construction crews, other realtors as well, if that's what's needed. And we'll help you run the numbers, find the different deals, whether it's commercial or residential, and just help you, I don't know, build the dream, whatever.
So,
Coffee.
before I let you go, Donalta, was there anything I should have asked you or anything you wanted to talk about before we?
Yeah, if you want to find me, you can check out my Instagram just at Donalta Hall. Also on TikTok at Donalta Hall, and you can just shoot me a DM, connect with me, and I'd be happy to help and answer any questions. We can set up a call. And yeah, thanks for having me, Glenn. I've been looking forward to this. And you kind of set me off on the journey. I took my first investing in the U.S. course, and my husband and I, we were actually in Huntsville at the time, and at the time I was taking your course, we were
Yeah, I
taking a
remember.
few calls from there, and full circle moment. So thanks, man. Thanks for keep
Oh,
doing what
you're
you're
welcome.
doing.
I love to hear these stories. I love to hear people like success, and even what's much more rare, even out of the success, is people actually moving to the U.S., which is just awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you for coming on the show, Donalta. I sure people got lots of information out of this one. This is a great episode. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That was a nice video. Bye.